Hey guys, this is Mike Tarallo with Qlik. Thanks for joining me in the next video in the Do More With Qlik video series. If you've been following this series, we are working with datasets and ultimately going to use those datasets to create a data product. If you're new to this series, please refer back to the first video where I introduce data products. So we're going to continue with datasets and we're going to explore the different capabilities and the functionality of a dataset. I'm also going to run you through a couple of ways of registering a dataset. Now you've seen me do this in a couple of the previous videos, but I wanted to reiterate this because it's important to understand how the catalog displays the actual pointers or references to datasets or the actual file itself, depending on how it's registered or how it's written. Allow me to explain. So earlier I showed you create new data set, and you can then basically browse by uploading a local file and storing it in one of your spaces, or you can actually create a connection or access a variety of other connections that we support for registered data sets. And I mentioned that in the previous videos. But if you didn't know, when you use a store command, in this case here written to the Qlik Cloud tenant file system, like we're going to do right here, it will automatically register that within the catalog as well. So this is part of an app that I've been developing for many years. So I actually use this for portability and demo purposes. So we're going to actually write this line items table QVD file to the catalog inside the Do More With Qlik space. So let's just execute this right now. Okay, we're completed. And I'm going to navigate over to the catalog and you'll see line items table QVD is now present. And keep in mind, this is a little bit different than a pointer to a file if you were to create it from a cloud file share connection. In order to actually manage this file, you go to Space Settings, Data Files. And here I'm searching for line, and you can see right here a few seconds ago, here I can go and click delete if I wanted to do that. So just keep that in mind, a little tip and trick on that. Okay, so now we talked about exploring the data sets. In the last video, we selected the data set and I discussed the overview and I discussed compute. So we're going to do that right now. Clicking compute is basically now performing a profiling and a sampling of the fields. It's inferring results, and it's going to give us back some initial data quality results based off of some of the signals it found in the values and additional information for the Qlik trust score. But as far as the system knows, this has never really been accessed, and it's being used for this particular demo right now. So this information can change as this file is used within apps or even AI initiatives. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is go to Profile. So Profile is exactly what it is. The field names, the data types, these are the intrinsic data types, the inherent ones that you all know and love, like string, integer, double, dates, etc. Distinct values, null values, and the sample values that are inside those fields. We can go to Data Preview. And here's where we're going to spend some more time within the next couple of videos, understanding a little bit more about data quality, because this screen is not just about showing you the data and the columns. It also allows you to set up data validation rules and look at semantic types. And again, we'll explain that as we continue along with the series. We're going to focus on vendor in the next video. But right now, what you can see is, for example, we're identifying some common data quality issues such as percentage of null or empty values versus the actual good values that are in here. And right now, as far as vendor is concerned, if we click on it, you can see that we can open up a description. You can see it's just a standard text data type. There isn't any validation rules. There isn't any classifications or tags set up for this, but we will be able to change this, which will also affect the trust score in the next video when we discuss a little bit more on data quality. Okay, the next one is Lineage. And what's nice about this is earlier I showed you the actual app called NewGraphQL, which actually writes out this QVD file. So you're going to actually see that right here, and you're going to see the source is coming from a SQL Server, and there is the app, NewGraphQL. QL order fulfillment. So you can see it's coming from SQL Server data connection from a table called orders. And then ultimately it writes out the line items table QBD to that file storage that I showed you a moment ago. So this is a great example, very simple example of Lineage. Now, if we go to impact analysis, this is going to show you what other applications are using this particular data file. It just so happens earlier I was using a data flow and using a step called aggregate to basically create some additional values for the demonstration. So we can see that this actual QVD file is being used in a data preparation. I know earlier I said that it's new, but it's something I've been referencing within a demo, and it just happens to reference this file that's in that file share. So you can see the applications that are using it. I have another backup of an application called Order Fulfillment Data Products, and you can see the file storage, Qlik data files, and you can see I'm using this for something called RGB predict, and this is referenced as well within impact analysis. And then finally, which is going to bring us into the next video, is the validation rules, which we don't have any. So we can click apply validation rule, and I'm going to go into this and I'm going to discuss the differences between creating a validation rule applied to the dataset or creating a semantic type, which will automatically be used within the sampling and then applied to that column. And we're going to look at that within the next video. All right, guys, so just a quick one to talk about the different tabs that are available when exploring a data set. And next, we're going to go into data quality. I'll see you on the next video.